Hello and welcome back. If you know me, I know you'll know at least a little bit about Metallica. If you've ever had a single conversation with me, I'm sure I have brought that band up at least once. But even if you don't, I know you'll know at least one song from this album. Today, let's chat about Metallica's self-titled album, also known as the Black Album. I'm Kyla, and this is your Tallica Talk of the day. So this wonderful album, released in 1991, would include 12 songs, and those songs would be Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Don't Tread on Me, Through the Never, Nothing Else Matters, Of Wolf and Man, The God That Failed, My Friend of Misery, and The Struggle Within. Now, out of those 12 songs, my personal favorite is The God That Failed. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of torn between Through the Never and The God That Failed. Those songs are so drastically different, but it's always the post-solo riff. I know, I say that every single time, but there's a reason. And hey, it's another Kirk Hammett riff from Through the Never. This riff is like the funnest thing to play on guitar ever. When I finally figured out how to play this riff, because I'm trying to learn by ear, you know? When I finally figured out how to play this riff, I could not stop playing it. It was actually so fun. So I'm gonna play that clip for you right now. So this album would include the same members as usual, those being James Hetfield on rhythm guitar and vocals, Kirk Hammett on lead guitar, Lars Ulrich on drums, and Jason Newsted on bass. The songs on this album are so drastically different from each other, and the messages in each song range so dramatically. One massively underrated song on this album is My Friend of Misery. I'm just gonna info dump on this song for a couple minutes. This song is the most meaningful, it has the most varied riffs, and it was originally supposed to be an instrumental track. That song is so heart-wrenchingly beautiful. It is so good. And I'm not a bass player, but I dabble in it, I would say. And playing that song on bass is so fun. It has a very Cliff Burton classical impact that not a lot of the other songs on the album have, and I think that's why that one stands out to me so much, because it's a very deep set song. Another one that I would love to mention is Wherever I May Roam. That song has just it's like from another planet. Oh my god, the riff in the beginning, it smacks you in the face and you're like, whoa, because you don't expect it to sound that heavy and rough and raw, and it is amazing, and I need to play it for you right now. And then, of course, the song that we all know, Enter Sandman. This has such a fun backstory, and I really want to share this because I think it's so funny. So this iconic riff, that one that we all know, that came about. Kirk Hammett was just chilling in bed at 3 a.m., messing around on his guitar, I relate, I get it. And he came up with that riff. And then they tweaked it ever so slightly, and that became the most iconic song of the whole album, and the most iconic single from that album. On top of that is Nothing Else Matters. That one has a whole different sound from the whole album, and James Hetfield wrote it all. He did the guitar for the song, and if you don't know the difference between rhythm and lead guitar, rhythm guitar is what plays in the background while someone else is doing solos. And what makes this song so different is that James Hetfield recorded the rhythm guitar, which is more of the acoustic guitar, the calm guitar, but he also did the solo as well. in the beginning, James Hetfield didn't even want to show this song to anyone in the band because he was embarrassed of it because it was like a ballad and they hadn't done that before. He didn't know what other people would think of it. I'm sure they're glad that they shared it because that song is so impactful and really showed that Metallica is not just like the tough faces that they put on, they have feelings, you know? And it's really cool to hear James Hetfield talk about it. You know, I'll put a little clip in here right now because it's really important to hear him talk about it from his own perspective.
Nothing Else Matters, which is considered a softer song, a ballad, really, right?
Yeah.
You were embarrassed to bring that to the band.
Right.
Because not only are you a shy person, but also it was a love song to a girlfriend at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have buried that song rather than bring it to them, and how did it end up in the band's hands?
I think Lars heard it and said, "Hey, that's really good." And I said, "No, it's not."
How did Lars hear that song if you were ashamed of it?
How did you hear it?
You played it for me.
That's how he heard it.
So you weren't that ashamed. And Lars, did he come to you? Did James come to you and go, "Hey, man, I'm going to play something for you"?
No, I mean, there's always been a very open door policy. I mean, we all trade. Usually what would happen back in the early days is that when we would, after a tour, go on break, like James would give me all his ideas, Kirk would give me all his ideas. We'd all sort of trade ideas, and then we'd go away. And then when we'd start writing a few months later, everybody would kind of have an idea of what everybody else was bringing to the table.
All in all, this album is utterly amazing. And I don't care what the stupid people on Amazon reviews say. I love this album. I love this album so much. It was so different from And Justice for All, you know, the previous album. But it was so good. So good. And I really, really wish that I was, you know, alive to see that happen. But I'm also glad, you know, I'm glad I'm alive to share it with other people like I am now, to keep that legacy of Metallica alive. Well, that's a wrap for today. I hope you'll join me next time to talk about 2 of my favorite and judged by many Metallica albums. Until next time, keep calm and listen to Metallica.